lakini mawazo tele moyoni, nina wasiwasi. Ngeonana mapema, siku zinapita bibi, mbona sikuoni mama? Afro mama yao, toto wasangana kao kumbuke penzi ugeuka leo kwangu, kesho kwako mamae, utanikumbuka salimie ndugu na wazazi wako mamae, popote ulipo Afro. Mimi si jambo lakini mawazo tele moyoni, nina wasiwasi. Nikikumbuka tulivyowachana mara ya mwisho, uliniahidi Afro tungeonana mapema, siku zinapita bibi, mbona sikuoni mama? Afro mama yao, toto wasangana kao kumbuke penzi ugeuka leo kwangu, kesho kwako mamae, utanikumbuka salimia ndugu na wazazi wako mamae, popote walipo Afro. Mimi si jambo lakini mawazo tele moyoni, nina wasiwasi. Nikikumbuka tulivyowachana mara ya mwisho, uliniahidi Afro tungeonana mapema, siku zinapita bibi, mbona sikuoni mama? Afro mama yao, toto wasangana kao kumbuke penzi ugeuka leo kwangu, kesho kwako mamae, utanikumbuka
Branches in Uganda, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Nigeria, and we are doing a lot, even with the government of Kenya. And if you have a manuscript that is lying somewhere, I would like to have a talk with you today. And if you don't have it, write about yourself. I am sure you can do something about yourself. Just say, start with my name is, then continue. We will come here again and look at it. We may learn something about what you do, and you may inspire many people. So I would just like to say that because I will talk later, I am welcoming all of you to this occasion because to write a book is not easy. That is why we say in academia, publish or perish. Apart from being a director at Utafiti Foundation, I am a professor at Kabarak University. I'm the founding dean, School of Music and Media Studies. That is why when he was saying he works with this band, I was very keen. Yes, but we will follow the details later. Before going to Kabarak, I taught Dr. Ruth Agesa's book launch this afternoon. And first, I want to say congratulations. It has taken quite a while, I think close to 3 years to reach here. Carrie Coolidge, an American educator and diplomat who was a professor of history at Harvard College and later director of the Harvard University Library, warned scholars in 1932 to publish or perish. Although this statement dates back 91 years, it's becoming a harsh reality, and seemingly the only recourse to it is to publish. I ask myself, and I think Honorable Sumbeyo will agree with me that if Paul did not write those letters to Corinthians, Thessalonians, I don't know, all, what will we be referring to? You know, it was because of writing. You see, now we can have energy and what to talk about, the subject matter, to encourage people. Luke said, I am writing to you what I saw, not what I was told. I think he was telling Theophilus. So this writing and publishing is even godly. That's why I said, why can't we also know about you? Suppose you end now. Will we know anything? If the answer is no, then you are not, that's bad manners. Yes, just do something. That is why we are here. I am myself a scholar, academic, and then publisher. I founded Utafiti Foundation Publishers, which is a voluntary and charity organization, employing very many youths coming from universities, training them how to use words to communicate people's messages, and also to package different messages for different purposes in English, Kiswahili, German, French. I did that because I saw the need of Kenyans needing a local publisher to process our local knowledge resources. We are even publishing, there's somebody who has published a book in vernacular from, I think that is the third one, from cover, top cover to bottom cover in Nandi language about animals on water and on land. And I was telling this person, this is great because when we talk of vernacular, understanding our environment in our own language, it is such a book that will give us the vocabulary so that we can now talk about our environment very confidently. And we have published that book. Recently we were talking about it at CAS FM, and I was surprised that even a Library of Congress has expressed an interest in purchasing and even in translating it. We talk about the Chinese here a lot in Africa, but one of their strengths is packaging their information in their own language. So it takes time for you to understand because you have to seek the help of a translator. So we are also publishing in our local languages. There was somebody from Vihiga who published in about stories, folk tales, Wanahamuna and all that. Yes, all that. And the book was, people thought it would not sell anywhere, but up to now, I asked her recently whether she has any copy. It's not there. So this is a wake-up call. We can work with you. Relying on far-away publishers is a nightmare for our scholars and academicians. At Utafiti Foundation, you are given 100% copyright. We don't sell your books. We don't print without your permission. That is why Ruth is, Dr. Ruth is empowered here. She has 1,000 books here, and she's the one to sell. So that is a deviation from the other publishers of books in Kenya and in Africa especially. Most scholars have found themselves in the hands of predatory publishers, predatory, which means they don't give the manuscript due scrutiny before it's published. For us, apart from editing and formatting, we also send the books to at least 2 or 3 people in the area to look at it and give our comments. That's why We are not predatory publishers. And these predatory publishers are only engage with their work, who only engage with their work, publish their work with they don't publish with proper editing and benefit from the proceeds of the hard work of the authors without actually polishing it to the level that it appeals to the national or international standards, like the book we have here. We have published many scholars of all calibers from all walks of life. The last launch was in Nakuru at Grand Winston Hotel, and I'm glad to mention that Dr. Ruth was in attendance. And was the book by Professor Henry Kiplangat, my Vice Chancellor at Kabarak University, and it was a big success. I think he's on his way to here because he promised to come here. Now, publishing for a Vice Chancellor, it means a lot because he's the manager, the top manager of the university, and choosing to publish with the Utafiti Foundation, it means something, isn't it? And he's the 5th Vice Chancellor to publish with us. We are currently working with many authors worldwide and developing their manuscripts. I encourage all scholars, policymakers, and others to consider following suit. Like Benjamin Franklin said, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. For Dr. Ruth Agesa, I say congratulations once again. Your book has sparked interest in women's role in peace projects and reconciliation. At Utafiti Foundation, the book carried a unique theme. It addresses an urgent issue for individuals, the nation, and the world. And while I'm there, I think not much has been written about women. This is in the context, this book is in the context of peace. But there are other areas. I think the Vihiga women representative, we will need to engage with you on what we can write about women. I know also in the one of our manuscripts is by the governor of Uasin-Gishu. It's talking about women and enterprises in agriculture and small businesses. And that book is going to come out in December. All of you know that governor is popularly known as Koti Moja. And he has a manuscript with us. With that, I want to end there. I'll come back later, but I welcome you wholeheartedly, and I'm also happy to be here. Thank you.
And I would just like to attach a few words on my encounter with Kenya and Kenyans. I had the honor and pleasure of meeting Dr. Ruth Agesa last year in February and March when we did a course together in Karen at the International Peace Support Training Center. And I got to know Ruth. We were in the same syndicate. It was a pleasure. It's a person with so much energy and so much to tell, so I'm sure there'll be more books than just this one. But it was a friendship that we got to talk. I got to learn a lot about Kenya through Ruth, which was quite easy to teach me because I knew very little. But I have now embraced this country. I've met so many wonderful people along the way. We met again sometime later at a function in Nairobi, and for this function, Ruth told me that she was now entered into politics in Vihiga, which I think is very interesting. It's still on my list to visit your wonderful country. I'll be there eventually, but I just want to extend my thanks to you, Ruth, for your friendship, and to all of you in this fantastic country. May God bless you and the future of Kenya. Thank you very much.
I want to say similar things as my speaker before me. I've been to this country for 5 years now, going 6 years, and it's been it's been a wonderful experience. Kenyans are so wonderfully welcoming, curious, friendly people. And every time I brought someone over from Europe, I'm from Germany, they were actually very, very pleasantly surprised and said, "Oh, when can we come back?" And it's the same with Dr. Ruth. So we met, I believe it was last year, for the first time, and we're very much aligned on education matters, and I'm very happy she's now the Waziri of Vihiga County and also the chair of the caucus of all the CECMs in education. So together we can push forward.
For inviting me to this book launch. When she told me that she'd written something about the Sudanese women participation in the two negotiations that went on, the Naivasha one, the Machakos, Naivasha, I thought she was very courageous, because Sudanese, and I hope they will excuse me, those who will be in this room, they don't have a lot of respect for ladies. They think that the ladies should be taking care of the children and not being involved in the war or carrying food for them when they are fighting. It's very unfortunate that this book is coming out at this time when the two countries are both in war with themselves. After splitting from the Sudan, the South Sudan has never seen peace. I was just explaining to some people that you people are claiming there is no money here. Just try and go to South Sudan. Even your own money that is in the bank, you cannot get it, because life there is very difficult. And it's more difficult for women. I must give you really a pat on the shoulder that you were able to get a book out of all these processes that went on. In Addis Ababa, after the Tebagol of 2013, we tried to have a group of women, calling them the women representatives. After the first day, both parties says they don't want them, because we wanted to have a round table meeting. Both sides, and they are their daughters, they are their wives, they are their sisters. They say they don't want them. Women in South Sudan have undergone very, very difficult circumstances. And the more it is written by people who can get a little bit of information out of them, probably they will get out. We claim here that our ladies want to have the 1/3 gender rule. Just wait 5 more years and their men will be crying. Look who are graduating in our universities, who are getting PhDs. They are women. The boy child is relegated. Watch out. 5 years from now, you will remember this day. Thank you and God bless you. Congratulations.
And it's a village that is very well known for academicians and very bright people, very good leaders. And in this house, there are leaders from Vihiga who have come to stand with Dr. Ruth on this special day. And as they say, ladies first, we will have Madam Honorable Dorcas Kedogo from the National Cohesion and Integration.
May I say good evening? Good evening. I'm Dorcas Kedogo, a commissioner at NCIC, National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We normally, actually we are the ones dealing with issues to do with peace. And I want to say that I'm honored to be here just to launch this book of Dr. Ruth Agesa. Thank you for making us proud. We are very happy. And as you heard now, Vihiga, we are getting big and nice things. So can you just clap for Vihiga County for coming up with this? Yes, so we need to have many of these. Ruth, make sure you get friends. I'm also willing to even do something the way a professor said. So you will hold my hand. I just want to say that we are happy because when you look at the title of the book, actually looking at women, we still have a long way to go as women. Even if I'm told that the boy child is at stake, is suffering now, but at the moment we still say the women still have to do something, because when you look at the conflicts that are in various countries or wherever there is a problem, conflict somewhere, the women are the ones who suffer most, because they are supposed to take care of the family, while maybe when the man is hurt or he has died, then the woman has to remain now taking care of the children. And you know that suffering can cause somebody again to even pass on, or even the children will not even stay at peace. So what we are saying is that as we also work, we have found that women are the ones again used in those wars. When there is war, the men or the Morans have gone, then this woman is told to just keep on waiting for the family. Those are the men who have gone to fight. They have to wait for them to come back. Now as they are waiting, they are not even sleeping. As they are preparing even some food for their children, they are also worried. Is my husband going to come back? Is my child going to come back? My son coming back? So when they come back, the same now women are the ones who are there singing, dancing for their children to have come back when they are still alive. And now when they die, when you don't see them, then it is the same woman in some of the clans or sub-communities. It is the same woman now who will throw out a jerrycan to show that now this one has done what? Died. So you're being used again to, So we should now again revisit that. Are we doing the right thing? It is us to tell them, our spouses or that team, that it is not good for you to go and fight. Kindly don't go. Don't go there, maybe stealing animals, because the moment you go there, you will either remain there or you come back. And it is me as a woman who will do what? Will suffer. So we have a lot of work to do. And imagine, if we did that, there will be peace. There will be peace in those communities. So women, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. We are the ones to bring peace. The men will not. We are the ones to tell them to bring that peace. And I will stop there. Thank you so much. I want to...
And the general here cleared everything. But I would just say, my dear sister, Dr. Ruth, congratulations for this good work. that you have put up. I've learned here from the professor the importance of 2 P's: publish or perish. Very important. That's what I've taken for the day. It's a challenge. Ruth was my senior in high school. We went to the same high school, Mudavadi Girls. It used to be called Mazoo. Our days it was Mazoo. Then when we were almost getting out, Mudavadi was added on. We are an alumni of that school, and I know there must be other ladies here who have been an alumni there. And I'm proud to be associated with the Mudavadi Girls. Ruth here started getting the doctors and the others. We are so many doctors. I think I'm almost the last person, and others are following now to graduate to doctors. So Mudavadi Girls is one of the best schools, and I will ask all parents in here, take your girls to Mudavadi Girls if you want them to excel. It's a school of excellence. Clap for Mudavadi Girls. By the way, we are very proud girls of Mudavadi Girls. We are very proud, and we love each other. We follow each other like, they call them in Waluyas wanapenda hiyo kitu kumbi kumbi. That's how we follow each other. I was surprised. I went for another function here around Karen. I got another doctor girl, pharmacist from Mudavadi Girls. So we are many. Ruth, we are leading from the front. Let's keep up. Utafiti, you may be getting another customer very soon. The 2 P's I must follow to the latter. Women and peace. Any peaceful home, it is the woman. Any troublesome home, it's the woman. Children who don't perform well, it is who? Clever children are for who? So, Ruth has come up with a very good book, Ruth, for your information. This book is timely, and people should know the peacekeepers, the peace bringers. Anything that can be peaceful in a nation, in a home, it's a woman. And women, we lead and others follow. There's something that I've been seeing people say, a successful man, behind a successful man, there's a woman. No, beside. To me, I would say it's beside or in front. Sombeya. Amwatiriki, and Tirikis and your people, our cultures are the same, and now we want women 50-50. Forget about any other thing. The women, we are coming, and we are up. You said here, the 2/3 gender rule that has been playing around, although Sozi left Parliament and went to Senate, they refused to pass it, but this is the time they are going to realize who women are. Now the boy child has to be taken care of. But I'm happy to tell you, I'm a mother of boys, 3 boys. I'll not leave the boy child to suffer. Ruth here, although you have not seen them, I have seen she's a mother of 2 boys. So we will not let the boy child suffer. But women, we want to bring peace. And even the bombers thing that is going on, I know the women who are there, they are going to bring peace, and you will see peace surpass everywhere. So women, we lead in these issues. Sudan, I've been there. For your information, you look at it, you just keep quiet. But I think what Ruth you've written, I think this book should be read all over. Even those 1,000 pieces are not enough. These books needs to be taken to Sudan and all other countries. You've come from Germany, I think you can even take some there. We want a peaceful world. The world is one global village. And for us to survive in this one global village, we need peace. Peace should prevail everywhere. As we sit here, we should pray for Israel and those sides. As we sit here on any nation that is having turmoil, we need to pray and ask God to ensure there is peace in those countries. We want to live in a peaceful world, free of any turmoil, free of any wars. We want to live peacefully. And on that note, you know, sometimes I'm a preacher, and I can see this a good congregation. I can be forced to say hallelujah, and I don't want to say that. So on this note, I call upon my colleague Osozi to come and talk to the people. Thank you and congratulations, Ruth. Keep up. This should not be the first nor the last. I want to see more books.
The politicians and the guests. Hamjambo. Agesa. And you know, when I came in, someone asked me, where are you going to? And I told him, I'm going to another event here. So when I came here, there are so many things I was thinking about. But one thing that never worried me was that I was coming to a book launch for a friend. So I must thank you for writing a book, which is a great thing. And we want to encourage each one of us to try and write a book about your experiences so that you can share your experiences with others. I'm sure through this book, she's going to inspire many, many people to write books. So writing a book is very important, and all of you, I want to encourage you to try and write a book, an academic book, or even a book about your experiences so that other people can learn from you. But also importantly, we must also be readers of books, because we have a big problem in this country. The reading culture is not there. If I asked some of you here to tell me if there is any book they are reading at the moment, I am sure very few people will tell me they have no book they are reading. Many people just read newspapers or read documents at work, and that is all. We must also instill, Professor, we must instill the reading culture in our people, so that reading should not just be for academic purposes, but we read to enrich our thoughts and to know more things about what is happening around us. So, Daktari, you have just joined a club of those people who are going to inspire the rest of us. So thank you very much for this wonderful job. When I saw the title of the book, which is Women's Role in Negotiation Processes in Southern Sudan, I thought there are so many things you can learn about it. You learn about gender in negotiation. You learn about diplomacy. You learn about conflict resolution. You learn about basically everything. And I was not wrong, because for the few moments I've sat there, I've quickly gone through the book, and I think there's a lot that you can get from this book. So thank you very much. I don't have much to say. I had to cut short my work in the Senate to come and attend and demonstrate that we are with you in this journey. But I think you will allow me to leave immediately after my speech, not in bad faith. Is because today, this afternoon, the Senate is discussing the approval of Eldoret to become a city. That's where Major Sumbeyo comes from. So we are going to have now 2 cities in our region, Kisumu and Eldoret. So the debate is going on, and we are happy with that. So when I leave here, please understand that I'm with you in spirit, and I will read the book and enrich my knowledge about Southern Sudan. So thank you very much. I will have to end there. Let me ask our Deputy Governor to come and say something. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.
The county leadership, the Honorable Beatrice Adagala, who is the women rep, the Honorable Dorcas Kedogo, a daughter of the soil and equally a commissioner with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, Dr. Ruth Agesa, and the guest of honor for this important book launch. Distinguished audience, I'm Wilberforce Kitiezo, the Deputy Governor for the great county of Vihiga. And I had to do a lot of balancing in order to be part and parcel of this great evening and great occasion. I had to negotiate between the people. His Excellency the Governor was equally leading a cabinet to which Dr. Ruth Agesa is equally a member of the Vihiga County Executive Committee. But then we all agreed on the need for standing with Dr. Ruth Agesa. So I come here wearing 2 hats on my behalf and equally on behalf of His Excellency the Governor. And you'll allow me to do a very precise delivery on behalf of His Excellency the Governor. The Honorable Dr. Ruth Agesa, who is the author, her wonderful family, the publisher and esteemed team that worked on the book, her colleagues, friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I convey warm greetings and good tidings of His Excellency Dr. Wilbur Hasilwa Otichilo, our Governor of Vihiga County, and for behalf of the thousands of the great people of Vihiga County. First of all, I congratulate and appreciate Dr. Ruth Agesa for this timely book, together with the team that worked behind the scenes to make this day a great success. Family, friends, ladies and gentlemen, our society needs balance. One gender is not enough to solve the world's greatest problems. We need to pull together. A bicycle runs on 2 wheels. The day cannot be complete without the moon and the sun, and therefore it is imperative that man and woman work together, live in harmony, and bring all unique talents, gifts, and expertise on board. Nature exists to illustrate to us that there should be balance for the ideal to prosper as God's creation. The female species of all creations ensures there is continuity and sustenance. We are better together. Peace is a delicate subject. Conflict is inevitable when people and communities live together, where resources are scarce and coordination and cooperation is a labor in themselves. Women and children bear the worst brand of conflict as they witness trauma firsthand, including being victims of conflicts, crimes. Dr. Ruth, we applaud your efforts to bring into perspective the valuable input of women in conflict negotiations and resolution. The unique nature of women has to be recognized and celebrated. Women bring different communities together when they are married far and wide. They are the joining stitches between different people the world over. They view the world as one. They view children as their own. They view other people as relatives of their children. And this is a unique God-given gift. Ladies and gentlemen, women have naturally sharpened emotional intelligence, which is key in negotiations. They also have a more awakened spiritual sense that makes them look at matters with a calm and divine demeanor. My prayer is that more women will take their rightful place in safeguarding peace and fully participate in conflict negotiation and resolution thereof. Let us take a minute of silence for the lives lost, conflict trauma, and war losses around the world, including the ongoing Israel and Palestine conflict. Congratulations, Dr. Ruth Agesa. All the best. May this book be the light for Kenya and beyond. I'm grateful for your studious nature and addition to the body of knowledge in matters conflict negotiations and resolution efforts. Distinguished audience, I want to equally take this occasion to share with you that His Excellency the Governor, Dr. Wilbur Otichilo, has been able to tap into this expertise that we are celebrating today as Dr. Ruth launches her book. Informed by a successful career civil servant with over 30 years in public service, Dr. Ruth Agesa is serving in the County Executive Committee of the County of Vihiga, leading a docket in education and technical education. And only a year after her appointment, she has been able to register a lot of immense success. She has been able to rework out Governor Otichilo's scholarship program and had an effect of increasing the scholarship beneficiaries from 100 to 156 in the last 1 year. She has taken a lead role and sought sponsorship for the first cohort of Governor Scholarship, where over 30 students are now on full sponsorship to pursue college education. And she has made it easy for His Excellency the Governor and ensured the welfare of more than 800 ECDE teachers who have been transitioned from short-term temporary employment terms to permanent and pensionable terms. And she's reworking out on how Vihiga County will become a model on matters of technical, vocational, and educational training, TVET. And she's reworking around sound policies that will ensure that the devolved aspects of education in Vihiga County work out for the good of the people of Vihiga, Kenyans, and the world at large. So, as a county of Vihiga, Dr. Ruth Agesa, being a daughter of the soil, an expert, a Kenyan that we've come to celebrate today, I want to wish you all the best. God bless you, Dr. Ruth Agesa. May God also bless the women of Kenya and the world. And may God bless Kenya. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki sana. Thank you very much.
Started the concept of MUST long time ago. Perhaps that's closest to the 70 that our friend was talking about. When you will remember something called WECO, and we said that we wanted to migrate that to a university in the late 60s and in the early 70s. So when it was eventually established, and established in Western, those of us again who were in Nairobi felt that quite a number of institutions were strategically positioning themselves in Nairobi at the expense of diminishing those others which are outside. And for those who are in MUST, I can tell you it was 3 of us, led by Professor Matanga. What a name, Professor Matanga, Amtabi and myself, who said we shall start a Nairobi campus, even if it means we are going to do it on part-time. Both Matanga and myself were full lecturers elsewhere. And I can see my colleague Moses is here. But we started a Nairobi campus postgraduate classes for MUST. Hey, they have not finished paying my check, so you better talk to them and let them do. But one day I was in class, and this lady who looked fairly familiar walks in and sits right at the back. And of course, I had just continued with my lecture. It was on international relations and diplomacy. And later on, Karibu Mheshimiwa, I was actually waiting for you so I can start. So after the class, we had a chat, and I was so pleased to know that Ruth had decided to start on her PhD program. I was encouraged because having a full-time job, and those of you who know her job, was a very involving job, oftentimes taking her outside Nairobi. I thought that was a very brave thing to do. So I come here with a lot of nostalgia, not only to celebrate her achievement, her doctorate achievement, but to see that she actually is now putting that knowledge into practice and even having the brevity to put it into print. So definitely, I'm going to burn, this one is just about a couple of hours, and I think I'll have gone through it. And you'll be seeing my review pretty soon. So rather than bore you, let me just say the subject of South Sudan. Have you spoken yet? Oh, you have spoken already? Oh, I missed that. The subject of Southern Sudan is very pertinent to peace and stability in this region, and particularly to Kenya. for reasons which I'm sure my senior has touched on. But equally important, Southern Sudan and the DRC are the remaining enclaves, reservoirs of strategic resources in the whole of Africa, as we speak right now. Forget about South Africa, which you have been told many times. Angola can boast of diamonds, yes, but diamonds may be forever, but for who? But when it comes to really strategic resources that make the world tick, makes this guy be able to film, makes these lights come on, makes you to fly from one place to the other, are vested in only 2 countries in Africa. And by the way, 2 leading countries in the world. And that is DRC and Southern Sudan. So to choose to discuss an approach to peace and stability in Southern Sudan, to me, is a very relevant and ever-present subject, which I really want just to applaud Ruth for having the brave time to doing that. Makofi kwake. Finally, those of us who are in area of peace and conflict at international level, we tend to ignore the very important, what we describe as soft power that the fair gender have in conflict resolution, even at the international level. You know, when Sumbe, your son, comes to talk to him, he'll be boasting, "Daddy, I have achieved this. I have done this which you have not done." Does he say the same story to the mother? No. It's a completely different story to the mother. The mother, he'll be showing the nice small boy who used to be spanked softly and told, "Look, hujaleta maziwa, hujakimbia sukari." And that is where it matters. Theoreticians will tell you that conflict starts with self, with you. And it is only the fair gender that tend to talk to the heart of these young people to understand it from that way. So it's an area that we have ignored, those of us who are in peace and conflict for a very long time. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this and seeing the role that the women played. And you all know, like Grang's wife has for a very long time been on the forefront. When, of course, Grang was the leader in that conflict. And no one has yet, I don't know if there's anyone who has really documented her role and her part. So without really boring you, let me really join you, all of you who have joined my sister in appreciating her tireless efforts. And I just want to add my voice to what the senator said. You all are books. You all are books, unwritten books. I have a friend of mine called Katongo Lecharo. Kachongo ran away from Uganda, now he lives in Britain. One day, he took me for a walk, and he took me to a cemetery in UK. Katongo, what's wrong with you? You know, going to the idea of going into a cemetery, first of all, sends chills, you know, these things you want to rush over. But after walking around, I thought he was looking for a specific person. After walking around, walked out, went to a coffee place and told me, "My brother, those lying there are volumes of unwritten books." True or false? So let us be able to celebrate you when you are still alive, as we are doing to my sister here, so that you also can leave a legacy. And for Ruth, I hope this is just the beginning of what you are going to write, and I hope that we are going to see more from you. With those many remarks, congratulations once again, and may God bless. And thank you for listening to me.
Hello everyone and welcome to the launch. I want to start by congratulating Dr. Ruth Agesa for her book, Women's Role in Negotiation Processes in Southern Sudan. Thank you for putting in a lot of work, a lot of determination, plying through several sources to ensure that we get information that is not only credible, but scientific and upon which we can base both policy and practical decisions. And thank you again for giving us an opportunity to speak about this important matter. As you all may know, conflict affects men, women, boys, and girls differently. It is said by scholars that women and girls bear the greater brunt of conflict. And when peace processes begin, they present an opportunity for us to address conflict drivers and emerging issues within a conflict zone. Unfortunately, women are highly excluded from peace processes in different parts of the world. So the question is it really important to have women participate in peace processes? Well, peace processes kickstart following points of instability or cases of civil war. In most cases, they work with already established institutions or structures within a society to try and address the issues that have arisen. Now, most of the institutions we have, particularly in societies that are patriarchal, are male-dominated. For example, peace processes may deal with government structures, such as cabinet secretaries, or local structures like elders, or many other community structures. Of course, the lack of involvement of women in peace processes is a reflection of the shortfalls in including women in politics and governance at societal level. And so if we have to thrive at involving more women in negotiations, we indeed have to start at national level, looking at how many women are in our parliament, how many women are in our public service, among others. So, women are actually great contributors to peace, as is recognized by the UN Security Council Resolution 1325. That was in the year 2000, when the UN first realized that women can not only be victims of violence, but can also play important roles in resolving or finding resolution to any conflicts. Women are more likely to bring up gender issues during negotiations as opposed to men. And when they bring out issues, especially in relation to women, they do them from an experiential perspective, which may make the negotiators understand the issues better and therefore make a better resolution. A study by Harvard actually said that women excel in negotiating on behalf of others. Most of the conflicts we experience are either communal conflict, conflicts affecting larger groups, and therefore we need people to negotiate on behalf of others. The very nature of women is that they always stand up for others. They stand up for their children. They stand up for their families. And therefore, they have this skill of standing up for others, which then bears fruit during a negotiation process. The final reason I will cite is a UN study which said that women contribute better quality and better durability to peace. So peace processes that involve women are more likely, 35% more likely, to be durable for at least 15 years. We all know the problems that surround peace agreements. Sometimes we get peace agreements, but I think the bigger problem is to implement them, to have them hold the peace after the agreement has been reached. And so this study says if you include women in the peace negotiations, your peace agreement will hold much longer than if you exclude them. I want to agree with Dr. Agesa on some of the conclusions in her book, that women increase inclusivity of the process, and that women also bring an expansion lens, so looking at diverse solutions because they think from a different perspective or a different plane. And all this put together gives us a better outcome when it comes to peace processes. Well, her recommendations also are applicable not only at regional level, but also at national level and at community level. So thank you very much, Dr. Agesa, for giving us this chance to look into those recommendations. Well, Dr. Agesa has done her part. She has written this book. Each one of us has an obligation to do our part. So even as you read this book, think about what you...
Wow, we're here to celebrate landmark achievements. I mean, you've got so many, you know? So if we have to start with the beginning, and I'm sure this is not even the end, I'm sure there's so many other beautiful things that you're going to do and write about. Your experience cannot die with you. It has to be shared with all of us. As you've been told, my name is Esther Pasaris. I'm the Nairobi County Women Representative. I just left Parliament to come here because I needed to stand with my sister. I needed to celebrate you. I needed to say that some of us have stopped on the first degree. We don't even know whether we're going to do masters, your PhD. Okay. Umetuacha mbali sana, you know? And everybody that's here today, you know, I mean, knowledge shared is brilliant. I'm definitely going to read it. You invited me, and I said I have to be here. I actually just came back from the World Health Summit. Our world is challenging. And, you know, as we're talking about the conflict, I mean, I had the honor of meeting Garang, and I also am a good friend of Rebecca. And, you know, when we look around us, there's conflict everywhere. And honestly speaking, you know, it's somehow looked at as a male-dominated agenda, right? And where are the women? I think the only first time, I think when Kofi Annan was here and we had the speaking session at Serena, it's when you really saw the women. But women are always there, because when those men come home and they're asking for advice and they're stressed, it's a woman giving them the advice and then they go table it like it's their own, right? But I really honestly believe that because we suffer the brunt of conflict, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's going on in Gaza? You know, I mean, it is horrific. It is a genocide of sorts. It is tough. Can you imagine the women, the children? And then right now I've seen a lot of women are coming out and making statements. And they're saying, you know, come on, we've got to do something about this. It's the voice of sanity. And the fact that you've recognized that and you've documented it, I think we really need more women on the table when it comes to conflict. Because we can't always be just going to say we want compensation because our children were maimed or killed or we were raped, you know. And even right now, when you're looking at Kenya's post-election violence, property was compensated, land loss was compensated, but the women who were raped, who had children, who are now almost 15, have never been compensated.
And what?
You know, they're always saying that there's no mechanism, how can we do it? And yet the figures are there. And that is something that we have to fight for. But at the same time, I think we have to make sure that women get into that space where they are also heard. It's happened in environment. It's in climate change. We've had the voice of women in climate change. We have to do it in wars. Because who starts all these wars? It's the men. It's the men who, for some unknown, you know, sometimes I wonder, even if you look at Ukraine, we were sitting with a fellow member of parliament from Unite in Ukraine, and her phone has a special ringtone giving her a message that her town is being hit. At the time when she was at the conference, you know, it's like a siren on the phone. How can we live like that? What is this that we're fighting for? That are we even going to take it with us? So I think women understand that the basic needs are what we want to cater for our children. And we can't just be sitting there and letting the men do the negotiation, do the fighting. I think that recognition that women did a lot more during conflict and war. I mean, Rebecca played a huge role, you know, but do we celebrate her as much as we celebrate the men when they come to it? When you look at the Kofi Annan, even when you look at Baba and Uhuru coming together with the handshake, it was the women who actually said enough is enough. Let's bring you guys together to talk. So I really think that space of women in negotiations for peace and the ending of conflict, and even conflict before it becomes war, is so crucial. And I really celebrating you for sharing your vast knowledge and putting it together, documenting it. And I really look forward to reading and learning more. Thank you, and God bless you all.
If we are to follow protocols as Ambassador Kika would tell us, it is not easy to take time to write a book. And many speakers have spoken here and have emphasized the fact that our chief guest, the author, took 3 years to write this particular book. So imagine sitting for 3 years to write a book. How many of you would do that? By the raise of hand, how many of you would do that? Very few. So this particular occasion is just also to inspire many of us to start writing. It is not easy, but what you can start by doing is just to record, have a daily diary of events or things that you encounter. You record them down, and I assure you, when you go sit down, spend a few hours on a holiday, you can do it. And of course, Dr. Ruth Agesa is here to inspire all of us. But let me go mention my role today. I'm an academic. I have a doctorate in political studies from University of Johannesburg. And I've been teaching for 17 years. Professor Ambassador Kikaya here is my colleague. I've been teaching for 17 years at university level, and I'm currently the head of Department of International Relations Department at United States International University, Africa. Now I'm also the director of the Institute for Public Policy and International Affairs, and I have written extensively on issues of peace building, and of course the Horn of Africa. So I'm giving you this brief profile to inform you that what I'm going to tell you here is what I got from Dr. Ruth Agesa's book, so that you know. So I read it for you, for those of you who haven't read it yet. So my role is to tell you what is in that book and to encourage you to purchase it. Now, before I go to that, I would like to congratulate the organizers for their ingenuity in terms of inviting key guests here, like the Nairobi women representative, because these are policymakers, and we don't write books for the archives. We write books to be used. So it's very important that the policymakers are here, the senator, the deputy governor, and of course strategic partners, foreign missions, who are here, who are also development partners in Kenya. So usually when you do a book review, that comes last, but I thought that is the most important recognition that I needed to do first before I go into the review of the book, to assure you that those of you who are here who are policy informers, policy makers, or just general readers, please purchase this book in large numbers, because what we need is a different alternative to what we know. I was speaking to the colonel here in our break, and he admitted and confessed that military people are not the right people to send out there for peace, because their role is to destroy. So what is the alternative for destruction is what Dr. Ruth Agesa has written here. Let me start from what academics do. And what we do first, we say the author, of course, is Dr. Ruth Agesa. The book is published 2022. The title is Women's Role in the Negotiation Process in Southern Sudan, a case of the 2005 Machakos Naivasha peace process. So the book is also published by our publisher, who is the name is just right there, and it's a local publisher called Utafiti, and Utafiti is based in Eldoret. Having said that, I've picked out 4 areas that are highlighted in that particular book, and as an academic, I'm going to be conceptual and theoretical in terms of what I picked up. The book is about peace building to begin with. Secondly, it's about gender awareness. Thirdly, it's about gender mainstreaming. And fourthly, it's about feminism as a theoretical framework. And of course, when we look at the inclusion of Utafiti, I would like to look at the politics of decolonizing knowledge. And I'm going to go through those particular items by item to highlight what the book is about. Now, the author clearly begins by taking us through the processes of peace building. And she identified peace building as a key component of pursuit for peace or sustainable peace. And in peace building, what we know peace building as it is that it seeks to transform structural inequalities in societies. And some of these structural inequalities, she actually clearly identifies them in the book. And then she focuses on one. Of course, in structural inequalities, we have class, we have ethnicity, issues of ethnicity, which actually are highlighted heavily in her book in terms of the ethnic conflicts in Sudan. And then she comes down to focus on one of the key one that actually reads to her topic, the role of women. And there, what I identified clearly is the lack of recognition of women's role in our society. And she clearly identifies societies as patriarchal, hierarchical, and denigrating women roles. And in her book, she says that quite often women are looked at in terms of the weak victim in places of war. And she says that her book would like to highlight the fact that women are not only victims, but a key component of sustainable peace. And the recognition of that particular special role that women can play stands out in her book. Now, her book is not just about basically looking at these particular inequalities, but it goes further to identify gender awareness. And many of us who don't know what gender awareness is it's basically looking at issues in society from the perspective of women and how to address them. In other words, if we have a hierarchical society that is patriarchal, that is denigrates women and does not properly recognize the important role that women play, then the creation, if we look at that particular society from the lenses of gender awareness, then we get to recognize those particular inequalities and, of course, starting to work towards transformation, the structure of transformation. So it's part of peace building. And when we work towards that, then we, in her book, she says that we work towards sustainable peace. Another concept that I picked out that is quite prominent is the concept of gender mainstreaming, and it comes out clearly when she's making her recommendation. And she makes a recommendation to policy implementers that if we are going to have sustainable peace, then we need to be cognizant of the critical role that women play in society. So her case study basically, as it has been highlighted already, is the peace process, the women involvement in the negotiation of peace process in Machakos and Naivasha. And of course, she takes us through that particular process and makes cognition of the role that women played. And of course, some of the key speakers like General Sumbeyo here quickly highlighted to us the difficult terrain of South Sudan in terms of their lenses, in terms of gender lenses, that they don't really recognize women as critical players in negotiation or mediation. They perceive women as people who are supposed to stay at home when men go to war. So that is clearly highlighted in Dr. Agnes Agesa's book. Now, I said that another critical component that I pulled out, which is not really part of what she wrote, but basically her choice. And I conceptualize that as the colonization of knowledge. This is the context. Many of us are scholars, and even where I teach and all the research that I've done, if you Google my articles, we usually look at the West as the trendsetters in terms of knowledge production. And when you come to my classroom, most of the books that we actually give our students to read are Western books. And I'm sorry to say this, but most of the books in international relations that we give in our university at United States International University are authors from United States of America. And the publishers are based there. And authors from United Kingdom. And the publishers are based there. So we quote scholars from there. And we choose publishers from there. And when we send our articles to be selected for review, we are given several reasons why they are rejected. And in real sense, it is because what some of us write is not supporting the norm of the West. So Dr. Agesa has made a critical choice in choosing Utafiti Foundation as a publisher. And Dr. Wanyama spoke to us here at length in terms of what his foundation does. The aim of his foundation is to assist you to communicate your knowledge to your people. And most of us who study international relations, we know that knowledge is context-based. You cannot transfer knowledge from another society and expect it to be implemented 100% in another society. Knowledge has to come from the society, and the structures and systems that you create have to be culture-based. They have to be context-based. it is okay to read other books. I personally, as a speaker, the Master of Ceremony said, I have a doctorate, and it took me time to read all the books of Greco-Roman philosophy from 600 BC to now. And as Ambassador Kika was speaking, that somebody was showing you the graves, and I was just reflecting on Kantian's philosophy, that peace is not for the dead, but it's for the living. So those graves that are lying peacefully there, they could have actually done better when they were alive in making peace. So what Dr. Agesa has done here is novel. Not many of us do it by choosing local publishers to publish their works. So, so basically, I would like to close by saying that this is a very, very easy to read book. It's only 67 pages, and it's only 1,000 Kenya shillings. So it's affordable. How many of you drink beer and with your friends worth 10,000, 20,000, just like that? Yeah? So please, as we welcome Dr. Agesa to come and address us, please let's stand up in honor of Dr. Agesa as she comes to address us. And please promise that you are going to have a copy of the book. And for the strategic partners, please use it in your work. And for our parliamentarians, please spread the word so that it can be bought. At United States International University, we started a certificate course on diplomacy, negotiation, and mediation to actually address the problems that we are facing. And I have just spoken to Dr. Agesa that we are going to bring her on board to be part of that course so that she can be a resource person. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Agesa. Thank you very much.
Usiniweke pembeni mama, ingawa wako wengi wazuri mami, lakini nimekuchagua wewe. Tabia zako sawa na sura yako, nimeridhika kuwa na wewe. Sagana unipeleke mama, nikawaone wazazi wako mama, natizeni pia tufike mami, ukawaone baba na mama. Mengine mengi sisemi mama, uamuzi na kuachia wewe. Mwisho na kuombea salama afro, mpaka siku tutapona naye.
The Deputy Governor of Vihiga County, Honorable Wilberforce Kitiezo, our Senator in absentia, he's just left, Senator Godfrey Osozi, the Women Rep, Dr. Beatrice Adagala, Commissioner, Madam Honorable Dorcas Kedogo, my friend, the Women Rep of Nairobi, Honorable Esther Passaris, my mentor, retired General Sumbeyo, Colonel Jens, Dr. Max, Professor Kikaya, who made me go to do my master's. Professor Ambassador, he told me, since you now want to go for international relations, start now. Professor Serem, Professor Melitas Wanyama, who is my brother, Dr. Onyango, who has given me another job. My former classmate, whom I have to recognize, he has just walked in here on crutches, Dr. Muthondeki. He's on crutches, but he had to come here today. My Dr. Asacha. I cannot finish all of you. Martha, Chege, Violet, people in drama. How many are here from drama? How many are here from music? How many are here from Vihiga Drama Welfare Association? How many are from Vihiga County? How many are my children's friends? Oh, and all partners, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening once more. Let me begin by thanking our Almighty God for enabling me and you to be here today. I would like to thank all of you for sparing your time and coming to share the joy of someone becoming an author. My friend Honorable Basaris just arrived this morning from Berlin. In fact, I was not expecting you. And I must say that I'm feeling very much honored by your presence. I know of a gentleman, a major retired, who has just been waiting for Madame to come so that they can come for this function. Major Maru, thank you so much, and Madame for coming. I cannot mention everyone, but know that I appreciate your coming to grace this occasion. There are those who've traveled from far. I know of some who took off from Vihiga this morning and they are here. And that is just because of love, isn't it? The love you have for me, and also you wanted to at least listen and hear of something that Ruth has written. Colonel Jens was supposed to have left for Kericho, but he decided to leave tomorrow for Mashujaa. Thank you so much. I attended with him the 25th Regional Senior Mission Leaders course at International Peace Support Training Center in Karen. That's where I met him. And that's where I also met Major Maro. And when we were graduating, we were with the person who knows Sudan better. So I'm very happy for your coming. Sonia Ann Johnson, an American activist and a writer, and an outspoken supporter of equal rights, said, and I quote, "I am a warrior in the time of women warriors. The longing for justice is the sword I carry." That ends the quote from Sonia. I'm not a feminist myself. Not because there is something wrong with it, but my book has nothing to do with the tug of war that exists between the male and the female genders. Why did I write this book? And I decided just to write a book not on a topic that is in Kenya or that is in a place that I can reach very easily. I have several people whom I approached and they assisted me. I have friends from the Defense College where I used to go and even get books. They are the ones who even arranged for me to meet several of the women leaders from South Sudan. I met several men who had fought in the SPLM. And I must say, there's a short story that most of you might have encountered entitled Letter to My Sisters. I don't know how many have read that story. A Letter to My Sisters. From an Ethiopian author, Fatma Kontet. The author of the short story published an anthology of short stories entitled Half a Day and Other Stories. She is not a renowned author, but she wrote and some people remember her. I'm not a renowned author, but I've now written a book, which I'm sure at some point you're going to be able to read, and it's going to give you a message that can guide you in life and also on maybe what you can do. I know that Half a Day was a compulsory short story text in secondary schools in Kenya. And you've just heard that there are those who like reading stories which are from out of Kenya. If I don't read Burmese Days, and yet there are those who will say, no, let me read Betrayal in the City by Francis Imbuga. So, in this letter, a woman medical doctor, the first in her village, and privileged to have acquired higher education, decides to end her life as a call for the liberation of women in her family and community. That is the story that was being written in that short stories. Traditions and culture do not allow the protagonist, though educated, well-traveled and exposed to the world, to choose what to wear, where to go, or whom to marry. Is that not so? The father and young brothers have the say over her. Does it happen these days? Your father and your brothers have a say on what you should do? The role of women in the society is edged even in the modern times. We still have the remnants from the stone on which all of us are carved. That is, the culture we were born in and with. Sometimes, our experiences and orientations tend to silence us from speaking what we do not expect. I believe speaking about the role of women in conflict resolutions refreshes our memories of what good can come from a woman. You've heard from our retired general here saying how in South Sudan, men don't regard women. Women in some of the societies are silent speakers. They go to the kitchen to cook, and they clean the homes and take care of the homes. But you find that women have already a big role to play. When a man leaves the home, goes to war, comes back wounded, who does the cleaning of the wound? When the man goes and leaves the children with the mother and everything is on the mother, the woman is actually sick. She's suffering alone. She has to bear it alone because it's happened. When you read this book, you will realize that we should not dwell in women's emancipatory crusades. We must move to advocate for women's inclusion in matters that affect both men and women in the society. Inclusivity. Women being included. During wars, as was the tradition of past societies, women were critical. In some communities, the internal humanitarian law recognizes that in most native societies, women would bring a conflict to an end by standing between the warring parties, and peace would be established. Because men are supposed to be fighting with men, isn't it? So when a woman goes and stands in the middle, you get scared a bit. Mwanamuke. And that's why even some societies say, they ask, whom did you leave at home? I only left their children and the women. You've heard of that? Mama na watoto, they are actually the same class. So, that is what it is. I will not belabor His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi's detailed forward in the book you are holding. I do not aspire to be a feminist, but I believe in the powerhouse that is a woman. The powerhouse of a woman. If women could play greater roles in native societies, they are scheduled to play the greatest role today more than ever. Feminist energy in both men and women. Zena Galasha Shrek, a Berlin-based American author and the spiritual leader of the Scythian liberation movement, once said, and I quote, "The material world is all feminine. The feminine energy moves the non-manifest, manifest, so even men are of the feminine energy. We have to relinquish our ideas of gender in the conventional sense. This has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with energy. To come into form, into being, to be born. All that we experience in the world around us, absolutely everything is feminine energy. The only way that anything exists is through the feminine force. That is the end of the quote from Zena. It is this feminine energy that I have tried to explore in this book. The feminine energy in a man that will make him discover the true foundation, the true fountain of the same in a woman to give her a chance to the negotiation tables, in resolving conflicts in all their forms and manifestations. As for the forward picks out, there is enough evidence to show that women played a significant role in the negotiation for peace in South Sudan. My argument, among others, is that South Sudan 2005 CPA, that's the Comprehensive Peace Accord agreement, is a site for Africa and the world to discover that women are resourceful in conflict resolution, and that the time has come to drop the sympathetic chords that denied them a chance to play in conflict resolution. Some said women should not do it because they are just women. And women were believed to have no energy or no thinking of negotiating or resolution skills. But as I conclude, I would like to say I have since discovered that writing is a way to vent knowledge resources that wisdom seekers can consume and implement in real life situations. I am happy, despite my busy schedules, to be called an author. I am grateful for all of you who came to witness my inauguration and initiation into writing. And of course, I've written, but I've never made them public. I have several journals. If you go on the internet website, you'll find, but I've never said I have done this. Unless maybe when a scholar is trying to look for material to write, will go and maybe quote me. But now you have come to initiate me into writing. Now I'll say proudly that I am an author. I am indebted to His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi for finding time from his busy schedule to read and write a foreword to this book. I consider his gesture the greatest honor in my book. You've heard many people cannot write, not because they don't have the material, but there's no time. I want to go to the shamba. I want to go to the office. I want to do this. There's no time for writing. Although my brother, Professor Wanyama, will get hold of you. He will show you how you can squeeze some little time and you'll be able to write a book. And here a whole Prime Cabinet Secretary sitting and writing for me a foreword. Is that not good? Thank you. I am really grateful to Professor Mellitus Wanyama. Mellitus Wanyama, we have a story to tell. We first of all went to the same primary college, Mosorio Teachers College. And we have grown together the ranks slowly until now he became a doctor before me, and now he became professor. Maybe some of us will reach there. I'm indebted to him. He is the director of Utafiti Foundation. Professor Wanyama made me think about writing and coming up with a book. We met one time on a plane, and what he did was to give me a book, but this book was not for topics or whatever. It was a research book, research methods. He told me, go and read research methods. So I got the book, and I started feeling I needed to write. I'm also very thankful to our key speaker, Dr. Moses Onyango, whom I met through Professor Mellitus Wanyama. Thank you for accepting to come and do what you've just done. All the speakers who have been here, I thank you so much. You have made us hear more of what it entails, maybe in a book, the role of women, and also our being together. I'm equally grateful to all of you for the courtesy and trust that you have put in me and my work. I would like to thank my colleagues from Vihiga. You know, you can invite someone and the person doesn't come, isn't it? It's even in the Bible. People, you are invited for a wedding and you find that you have the food with you by yourself. You start going to the road to look for people to come and eat. But here are people who woke up in the morning and decided they are going to Nairobi. And they are here with us. I'm not taking it for granted. There are those, you have left your offices. I know in Nairobi, I've worked in Nairobi up to last year towards the end, and I know we could be in the offices even working until night. Sometimes maybe because we are fearing the traffic jam, but sometimes because we don't want our tables to be full tomorrow when we come to the office. You've left your offices, you have come just to be with us together. That is very great love. Max here, you've heard what we want to do in our schools. He's a champion of digital learning in our ECDs. And of course, he's happy because Vihiga, we have just said we must make our children of 3 years to start learning using phones and computers. He left his work, but he had to come. My people, I am happy because you have come, and I'm not taking it for granted. I would like also to thank the Weston Hotel for allowing us to host our meeting here today under the leadership of David Koskei. I must say, thank you. Today, I saw the MC having a choir, which he's telling us that he started training it yesterday, or I don't know, last week. And the singers actually made my sister, the Commissioner Dorcas, to stand and dance, including His Excellency, the Deputy Governor. But can I tell you something? As much as I was with a professor in Mosoriot, you had the women rep saying, women representatives saying we are an alumni of a school there, we were together. Now, this commissioner, I was with her in Mosoriot Teachers College. And when some of us, we were singing birds, singing seriously, our teacher could follow her with a cane. Please join the choir, and she could not join the choir, not even dance. But today, where is Mr. Alenga? He should make sure that before we go home, Madame is given enough music to dance. Because it's her time. I would like to thank all of you. Professor Serem, you have come from very far, but you've decided you must be here. You saw Professor coming in. Professor, just let these people know that this Professor Serem is here. Thank you for coming. Nimefurahi sana. And you know, sometimes you can come from a place and then you don't even have a friend coming from there even to say jambo to you. Because maybe the person you never used to talk to or anything. Martha, stand up. I worked with that lady in the education until when I left her last year. She's here. Oh, I cannot mention everyone. May God bless you all. And may you read the book. And may the seed of knowledge you get in this work inspire you to write your own and advance the book's call. Say amen. You have to read. There's a lady who has just walked in right now. She was teaching with me when I was in Nakuru High School. She was in Kabarak. She's still there. And she was conducting exams. Exams are starting. So I think you must have finished the exercise, or I think she told them, Baki hapo, I have to go. Dorothy Zalo, just say hi. Thank you. Plus Tabitha. That one, Kabarak. God bless you people. God bless you mightily for coming. And thank you very much.
She's going to write more, and that is where I come in as the manager now.
Produce at least 5,000 of those books in a week. We have done a lot. 2 weeks ago, we were in a launch she attended of Professor Kiplangat's book, My Vice Chancellor. And it was a very successful function in Nakuru. Dorothy was also there, and we are going on. And I am grateful to Dr. Onyango for encouraging the African scholars and the African publishers to make their presence be felt. As you are told, all of you are books, and I can tell from your reaction, the next author, I know women rep Mheshimiwa Pasaris is going to be one of them, maybe, because we need only the name on her book. Pasaris, then how many copies will be sold if it's selling? Yes? Many, isn't it? So, and the rest. So, I am here to help. You can talk to those people who have published through Tafiti Foundation, how I come in to help. It's not easy, but I am always on your case, telling you what to do next and next and next until it comes out. This book is about number 430, published within 10 years. It's a record. And we publish books in research, academic writing, and also others, even fiction. But our strength is an academic writing. So you are all welcome. Today, make sure you take my card, which has details. And you can call me up to midnight. After midnight, you start again at 7 in the morning. I will pick your call. The book which I gave her on the plane from Eldoret to Nairobi, we wrote it with Prof. Serem. It's on research methods. Thank you, Prof. And it is now we sold over 2,000 copies and it ended, but we will, we are revising. Okay, so we are here for you. Let us unveil. Then the music goes and clapping and all that.
So the team is closed now.
No, you can take
Okay. Now, it is not yet over. Can you have a seat? It's not yet over. Not yet over. Okay.
Can we have one with you?
Yes.
So that at least I can be able to.
Let's be seated for cake cutting so that you can get a piece. Congratulations, Daktari. Wapi makofi ya daktari. Very, very nice.
Piga picha.
This is yours. You're the one worthy of celebration. And this is you.
That's a side.
Dr. Sela, whom we have seen a clip, Major General Landwa, for working with Daktari, have given life to the thoughts, idea, and research for revealing to the public what is in Dr. Agesa's mind. And you have revealed to us that women issues and issues of peace are very dear in her mind, and she is working around the clock to ensure that women are at the table and peace is non-negotiable. We also want to thank the research assistants who are part of the value chain that delivered this particular text. We want to appreciate the consumers. We are the consumers. We have had participation of members of the National Assembly. The woman rep for Nairobi has been here. The woman rep for Vihiga has been here. We have had participation of the Senate. We have had the Senator of Vihiga County with us. We thank the participation of the County Government of Vihiga, led by His Excellency the DG. We have all the professors and the doctors who have contributed passionately to this research and documentation of this particular text. We appreciate members from theatre, film, and music, disciples. You share that with Daktari and you've been here to support her. We thank those from the Kenyan judiciary system, led by Wakili Brian and his team of friends and colleagues. We appreciate you. And we are saying that you meant recommendations suggested in this text. We say that the case study is about Sudan, but what parallels can we draw to deconstruct the perceptions we have built around women contribution in discourses of peace and conflict resolution? We are helping her achieve this particular milestone today. Thank you and God bless you. Asante.
Tabitha. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art! How great thou art! Oh, how great thou art! How great thou art! Then sings my soul.
Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Ruth Agesa, the CEC for Vihiga Education, Science, Technical Educational Training. I'm here today at Western Hotel where we've been launching a book that I have written. The book is, the title of the book is the Women's Role in Peace Negotiation, and I'm basing on the case study of South Sudan, basing on the CPA, that's the Comprehensive Peace Accord Agreement of 2005, the Machakos Naivasha Peace Accord. I decided to write this book because I wanted to show the power of a woman in peace negotiation. In the past, you find that people never believed or thought that a woman can be able to sit on the table and make decisions. Were considered to be weaker sex, whereby maybe you'll go and somebody or you get swayed in your reasoning and don't give a proper verdict. You've seen even we have lady lawyers, and many women are now doing work just like men. And you find that when there is war, the person who doesn't want it to escalate is a woman, because men go to fight with other men and they see women to be a very feeble species, you find that when a woman remains at home and the men have gone for war, when these men are wounded, coming back home is the woman who will treat the wounds. When the man has gone to war, the person remaining at home is the woman with children, and she suffers a lot of emotional discomfort and pain because she has to take care of the children. And even if the man dies at the battlefront, the person who remains with the children also is the woman nursing now orphans. So we would like, I just had in mind that the women should be given a space at the negotiation table. And as I was doing this, thinking about this idea, I had a lot of friends from the defense forces who introduced me to the SPLM men who had been in the war. I even met some of the women from South Sudan, and I realized that even women could go and write messages and give even through the door for the men to take action. And where there is a woman, there is always peace. No woman would want to have war because the people who are going to suffer most are the children and the women. So that is actually my argument that really was in my mind, and I felt I really wanted to talk about it. And I'm just encouraging all the decision makers or the government, when you going into choosing or selecting people who should make decisions or negotiate for peace, women should be given a space at the table. Yes.
Don't you see this book has come at the right time when there is war in Haiti and also between the Palestinians and also the Israelis?
I feel the book has come at the right time. As much as I could have wanted to have published it earlier, I still feel that this is the right time because there's a lot of war going on in other countries, and there's also a lot of conflict that is going on even in our own country, even in our own homes. There's a lot of conflict, and it is only when people come on the table, negotiating table, to agree what should be the way forward without anybody shedding blood or people disagreeing. And I feel this is the right time also. Women should just be given that space at the table for the negotiation. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
And Father, tonight we speak a blessing over every person that then see